Mom Nerissa Beatrice, a teacher and a guidance counselor. And here's my channel where you can grow positive with all the relevant topics, lessons, and tips that I will be sharing. So if you're new in my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell button for you to get updated with the next videos. Okay, so for this video, I'll be featuring a series of webinars taken from the 3-day division level webinar on career psychoeducation for grades 10 to 12 students, which I was able to organize. As a guidance counselor, it is my advocacy to help students in their career decision making. So please do watch the videos.
Good morning, everyone. For today, I'm going to be your learning service provider, and I'm going to share to you how it is to discover the fired up you. How is it really to discover the fired up me? Okay. Now, it takes a lot of courage to have the attitude of grit, to have the attitude of fired up spirit, and discover your own way to be successful. Now, I will be your coach for today, and if you will give me the chance, and if you're going to share your time with me and listen to my talk, you will find out that after discovering your potential, you can be someone successful like everyone else in our community. So I will be your learning service provider. My name is Dr. April V. Zabalia Luzon. I am the Director for Institutional Planning and Development of Camarines Sur Polytechnic Colleges. Now, let me ask you the first question. Any one of you here who does not want to be successful? Please raise your hand. I know none of my viewers here have raised their hands dahil lahat tayo gusto maging successful. Every one of us would like to be successful. And if someone would have said that they do not want to be successful, is not true to themselves. Every one of us have that innate desire to be successful, to be someone to achieve our goals and be like someone else in our society. Now, for our first activity, I'd like you to write yourself a love note. This love note would start with a statement of dear self. If you have your note, for me, I really keep a journal for myself, and I write something which can remind me in the future what I have written 2 to 3 years ago. Now, for yourself, write yourself a love note and say, dear self, what do you want to achieve 5 years from now? Now, enumerate in your letter what you want to achieve 5 years from now. Diba? Would you like to be an engineer? Would you like to be a teacher? Would you like to be an artist, a model, a nurse, a doctor, or someone serving in the government service? Now, do write yourself a love note. And after 5 years, you open again your note and check on yourself. Have I achieved the dream I have written 5 years ago? Diba? That's your first activity. Now, your second activity, write a love note for your parents. Write a love note for your parents. What do you want to tell them? What do you want to tell them? Our parents have made a lot of sacrifices for us to send us to school, to provide food on our table, to buy us anything that we need. At times, they find it really difficult to provide the things that we want to have. Minsan gusto natin ng magandang cellphone, minsan gusto natin ng magandang laptop, and that is really a challenge for our parents. At this time, what do you want to tell your parents? The best gratitude that we can give to our parents is the word thank you. Thank you for being there for me in any time that I need you. Minsan kahit nga hindi natin sila kailangan, 'di ba? They are there for us. So write a love note for your mama and your papa, and then tell them exactly what you want to tell them. We are not raised to be very affectionate in our age. I know I am really older than you, but in our age, we were not raised to be very affectionate and tell every day that I love you, mama, I love you, papa. So maybe this time is an opportunity for you to tell something to your parents and thank them for all the goodness they have done for you. Diba? I'd like also to share a video. Maybe some of you have watched this video, but I'm sharing this to you for you to realize that our parents are doing a lot of sacrifices for us in order to provide the things that we need for us. So please watch this video presentation.
Daddy is the sweetest daddy in the world. Daddy is the most handsome, the smartest, the most clever, the kindest. He is my Superman. Daddy wants me to do well at school. Daddy is just great, but he lies. He lies about having a job. He lies about having money. He lies that he's not tired. He lies that he's not hungry. He lies that we have everything. He lies about his happiness. He lies because of me.
Just like the short film I shared to you, our parents are doing great efforts, great sacrifices for us. And at some point, they're doing something na hindi natin gusto, but we need to understand that they're still doing that for our own good. And no matter how difficult our life is, no matter how difficult um, the problems that our family are experiencing, we don't have to look backward for very long. You know, according to Walt Disney, we keep we should keep moving forward, and we have to open new doors and doing new things because we have to be curious. We have to develop the attitude of curiosity because curiosity keeps leading us down a new path. And for today's career guidance, this will be an opportunity for you to be curious, and this will be an opportunity for you to discover new paths. In order for us to discover the fight up me, we need to understand three things. The first is to understand failure because failure is common in our life. It's part of growing up. The second is how we can build on little successes. No matter how small it is, we have to celebrate small successes. And the third one is we have to make things happen. We have to make change happen because it is only us who can have the power to change things and do things right for ourselves. So I'm going to share to you stories of failure. These stories of failure will help us understand that no one is ever successful without being failure. I myself have experienced a lot of failures before I am now in my post. Diba? We just have to keep going. We just have to be determined. We have to be committed. And no matter how many times we failed, we need to keep going. So the first story of failure is Thomas Edison. I'm sure you all know who is Thomas Edison, but he said that many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Thomas Edison's story is um, over 10,000 times he failed, and on the 10,000th time, it was then he realized how to have a light bulb. So, if ever he stopped doing things and discovering how it is to work, to have the light bulb work, hindi siguro tayo magkakaroon ng ilaw ngayon, di ba? But no matter how many times he failed, he just kept moving. The second story was the story of Elvis Presley. I'm sure in the genre of music, you all know Elvis Presley. But just like anyone else, meron din siyang mga experiences of failure. He even tried to, drive a truck to keep himself surviving. And then later on, he joined a music industry. And his manager said, "You can never be successful and you can never have a music record. Go back to driving a truck." It was then that Elvis Presley realized that he needs to keep going, and he said, "When things go wrong, don't go with them. Discover in you that you have the potential and nurture that potential." The third story is the story of Michael Jordan. According to him, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. And on 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, diba? Yung last shot, and then in that 26 occasions, he failed. He missed it. But he said, "I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is the reason why I succeeded. Because those failures motivated Michael Jordan to just keep on giving the best shot of his life." The third story is the story of Vincent van Gogh. So any one of you here who would like, who has the talent of drawing, of, painting, let's be inspired by the story of Vincent van Gogh. Over his time, not a single piece of artwork was sold. And that's the reason also why he became, drunkard. But he just kept on, painting and expressing his thoughts through art. And unfortunately, after he died, almost all of his artworks were displayed in museums and it cost millions. A, an artwork of Vincent van Gogh, kapag nabili mo yan, isa kang milyonaryo. So, just like Vincent van Gogh, diba? No matter how difficult the time is and no matter that he is at the brink of depression, of frustration, of, he even has suicidal thoughts, but he just kept on painting and doing things over and over again to perfect what he was doing during his time. We also have the story of Stephen King. Stephen King was one of my favorite author, and he said, one of the keys to success is continuous learning. If you desire success, why not continue your learning and read the best books on successes? The story of Stephen King was he kept on writing novels, but when he submits his work to a publication, a publication firm, it is always rejected. And one time, one of his book, he threw the book sa trash can, 'di ba? Tinapon na niya, parang pagod na siya. And then he realized that sobrang effort ang binigay niya sa pagsulat ng libro. So he picked up again the book and submitted it again to a publication firm. And lo and behold, it was accepted. And the first book eventually became a bestseller. And that's the start of his career as an author. So that's the story of Stephen King. He never gave up writing. We also have Abraham Lincoln. Of course, Abraham Lincoln, one of the presidents of the United States of America. But just like everyone else, Abraham Lincoln also came from a very poor family. And um, the quality of life did not hinder him to be one of the greatest political leader in the United States of America. So even us, we should not have the excuse that I am too poor to be a leader. Being a leader is innate in us. And if you want to nurture that potential, you can start joining the student organization. You can start joining the community politics, the SK Federation, and eventually you can become a leader in your own right also. We also have the story of J.K. Rowling. I am a fan um, of her work. Yes, and she is a story of a single mom and how he eventually want to give the best for her daughter. She said that failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. Diba? You forget the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was and began to direct all my energy to finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in one area where I truly belong. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized and I was still alive. And I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so rock bottom became a solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Ah. So you have to identify what is really your potential and you have to identify what is your resources. For J.K. Rowling, he realized that, oh, I have an old typewriter, and that old typewriter became his best friend to write his novels. We also have the story of Walt Disney. So, I'm sure every one of us knows Walt Disney. But without us knowing, Walt Disney was also branded um, uh, as not creative, diba? if you see the movies of Walt Disney, the Walt Disney production, it's full of creativity, it's full of curiosity, and it's like opening new doors, opening new avenues for children and and adults. But for Walt Disney, during his time in his first work as a production staff, he was branded as never creative. So he said, no one trusts me here. What if I start my own production company? And he did. He showed to us how creative he was. And, the failure he experienced in his first job never hindered him to discover his potential and be creative and establish the Disneyland. We also we also have Albert Einstein. For Albert Einstein, it's a difficult story. At times, we see children, for a children who has not still read at the age of 9, we see them as bobo, diba? We see them as walang potential, walang future. But Albert Einstein is one extraordinary child. Even if hindi siya nakapagbasa at an early age, his parents never gave up on him. And, success, he said that success is failure in progress. Failure in progress in the sense that um, during the time that we experienced failure, this is almost close to being successful for as long as you do not give up. And of course, we have the story of Bill Gates. He shared that it's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Why? To heed the lessons of failure, because when we heed the lessons of failure, it is trying to tell us that this should not happen again. And when we realize that these lessons of failure are opportunities for success, that's when we can become successful. So let us decide now how you can be successful. Diba? It's very difficult, to just tell us, I want to be successful. But if you're not doing anything for yourself, that's a different story. For you to be successful, please do not compare yourself with anyone in this world. Because if you compare yourself, you are insulting yourself. Do not compare yourself. In my high school years, um, I have um, I feel, I forgot the exact word, but I feel that I am not beautiful. That's the exact feeling I have. Over my childhood years, I feel that I am not beautiful. My birthmark, you see my birthmark? My birthmark um, is is like, is like a sumpa to me. Every one of my classmates would taunt me black eye. Every one of my classmates would tell me I am not beautiful, and they would always catcalls and throw bad words on me because I am not like them. I am not as beautiful as them. But then I realized that beauty is not the only thing that could make us successful. So I said, when I can't join, the majorette and the bands parading during Peña Francis celebration and town fiesta, if I can't join those activities because I'm not beautiful, I have to look into myself. What are my talents, and capitalize the talents to be successful? So I discover I love writing, I love talking, I love, doing art stuff. And I started joining the publication, I started joining debates, I started joining extemporaneous speaking, and then I realized that this is something that I am good at. So I don't have to compare myself to my beautiful classmates and sulk and be sad because I am not like them. So all we have to do is to discover what is in you, what is in us, that we can have potential for growth. Di ba? Minsan, hindi tayo magaling sa math, pero magaling naman tayo sa arts, magaling tayo sa English. Minsan, hindi tayo biniyayaan ng height, Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi tayo kasing galing sa kanila. So, please do not compare yourself with anyone in this world, because if you are comparing yourself, that is really an insult to yourself. And um, we have to understand that being matalino, di ba, at this time, being matalino is not at all times, excelling in class. We have different measures of intelligence, and the first one that we have to understand is the IQ, the intelligence quotient. The IQ, this is the measure of our comprehension and the ability to solve math problems, retain information, and recall subject matters. We all have that IQ, that intelligence quotient, unique in every one of us. But please do not compare yourself with one which has an IQ higher than 190, and you feel like you only have an IQ of 100 to 120. It doesn't matter, because we also have emotional quotient. We have to understand that to be successful, we have to have an emotional quotient, not just intelligence quotient. For an emotional quotient, this is the measure of your ability to maintain or be at peace with others. Be responsible, be honest. We have to respect boundaries, be humble, be genuine, and be considerate. Because in most cases, to be successful, you have to have a very good emotional quotient, because you will be dealing with colleagues, you will be dealing with clients, and when you have a very good emotional quotient, matatalo mo pa ang mga matatalinong tao. We also have, this one is very new at present, we have social quotient. And when we talk about social quotient, this is the measure of your ability to build a network of friends and maintain it over a long period of time. For social quotient, minsan may mga tao talaga na very loner, di ba? Pero may mga tao naman na very sociable. And if you are this kind of people that sociable in nature and very friendly, please consider that as an asset. We also have, this one is also new, the adversity quotient. Okay. At present, we've been reading a lot of news na maraming nagsusuicide ngayon. And I hope you will not be one of those people posted and online na biglang na-depress at nag-suicide na lang kasi hindi na nila kayang mabuhay. At this time, psychologists have discovered that adversity quotient is also a measure of intelligence. And when we say adversity quotient, this is the measure of your ability to go through a rough patch in life and come out without losing your mind. And, if you are very resilient and hindi ka basta-basta nag-give up, you have this adversity quotient. So the four elements, the intelligence quotient, the emotional quotient, the social quotient, and adversity quotient, these four are essential for you to be successful. The absence of one would not mean that you will not be successful. You only have to capitalize what is in you. So if you feel that you have a very high adversity quotient, then very good, because no matter how difficult your life is, you will never give up. And those failures will always keep you moving because you have a very high adversity quotient. So as we move on, we need to discover career and career choices. For you who will be entering college, you have to identify what will be your career and your career choices, because career is not just money or income, it is pursuing the essence of life, diba? It is a lifetime commitment of what you have chosen after graduation. So when you choose career, you have to consider different factors like, are you good on industrial and engineering technology? Are you good at helping people and you can focus on human services? Or meron kang green thumb and you can choose natural resources and agriculture? Or you are into online business and you feel like magaling kang magbenta and magaling kang mag-handle ng mga business, you can focus on business management and technology. And if you feel like you are into the fields of talking and communicating and, delivering speeches, you can choose arts and communication. And if you feel like you want to be in the frontline service and you want to help the sick people, then choose health services. In all these aspects, the foundation here is knowledge and skills. Diba? Knowledge and skills. Because hindi lang pwedeng theoretical tayo, hindi lang pwedeng magaling tayo sa mga binasa natin, but this is the application of our skills. And when we select our career, we have to focus on what are we good at. And looking into this paradigm, you can have the best choice for yourself. And the best time to decide for yourself is today. Now, career is a way of making a living, a profession or work which may require certain levels of learning or training. It is a lifelong job, a professional progress. It is a vocation and an occupation that a person goes into and therein makes a living for the duration of his life. So you can have a career in education, in law, in music, in engineering, in medicine, in agriculture, in business, whatever that career that you may choose at this time, for as long as that you have considered your knowledge and skills, then that is a very good option. Now, when we choose our career, we have to determine what is the purpose of our career. What's the purpose of our career? Is it to meet societal needs, to add value to people, or to just, think what is moral and legal and right? So you need to identify for yourself what is the purpose of having a career, because the only thing that when we identify our purpose in life, we feel that our choices would have significance, would also have meaning for ourselves. So the purpose of career, what will be the purpose of choosing that career? Is it to be happy, to be successful, to have everything in life? Or you feel like ayaw mo lang i-blame, so you just chose that career because your parents told you to choose that career. Now, the purpose of career, the epitome of the purpose of our career is not to please anyone else, not to please our friends, not to please our parents, not to please the community, but the purpose of choosing the career is for you to be happy, for you to be successful, and for you to have a fulfilled life. When you have a fulfilled life and you feel that there is significance of doing this job, then there is the essence of having that career. So when you explore the career opportunities, you also have to explore your interests, diba? Just like earlier in our slides, if you are good at arts and sciences and engineering, here you have to explore your interests. Are you that kind of investigative person? Are you artistic in nature? Are you very sociable and enterprising? Or you are the conventional type of person? These are some interests that you have to look into and find yourself, because these will lead you to the right path. Okay, now we have a lot of factors to consider. We have here the do's and the don'ts. Please explore a number of career majors. Wag lang isa, diba? You have to get an option. So you have to have a lot of options. And please get involved. Get involved in a sense that you can share your thoughts to your friends, to your family, that I want to be like this. And please open up to criticism. Open up to, feedback from your family. Get advice from people in your target occupation. Follow your passion. This is very important. You have to follow your passion and dare to try something new. Do not be the conventional type, but you have to dare to try something new. And please do not ever focus on a major just to get a career out of it. Diba? Parang, okay, gusto ko lang makapag-enroll, so okay na sa akin ang okay na sa akin ang education, okay na sa akin ang office administration just to have a career. That is a big no-no. You have to make sure that this is your passion and this is something that you want to do for yourself and for your family. So there are a lot of factors affecting career choices like your interest, your skills, your aptitude, your people skills, experience, family tradition, of course, your personality. Your personality will greatly affect your career choices and your life goals. Life goal in a sense that ayoko nang forever na mahirap ako, di ba? Ayoko nang forever na magsasaka ang mga pamilya namin. So your career goals would eventually affect your career choices that you want to be successful. Now, it is your future. You have to take charge of your future. You are responsible for making your education and your career decisions. Managing your career and controlling it is your right. And you have to take charge on how you can make that happen. Now, you also have to assess your skills, your academic strengths, your personal qualities, your people skills. And when we do career planning, ayan, it's a series of action of knowing your values, learning about yourself, identifying your skills, your research career options, and then you have to link your major and your career because this is a domino effect. If you miss one step, you will eventually experience failure because this is not what you really want for yourself. So the best start here, the best start that you can do for yourself is to know your values and to learn about yourself. Eventually, the second step, the third step will just continue and you will discover that this is the best choice for yourself. So, the question is, are there good or bad careers? There is no good or bad career. For as long as it is your passion, for as long as it is the best for you, you feel that this is the best for you and this is the purpose why you want to pursue yourself in the future. Now, that is a good career. Diba? Wag natin masyadong ina-underestimate na gusto natin ganito lang because for as long as that is your passion, then you are choosing the best career for yourself. Now, this is the question again, how to make the right choice? Is it choosing based on financial means? Pwede din, di ba? Kasi minsan hindi natin kayang, like, gusto ko maging doktor, pero hindi naman kaya ng pamilya ko. Not unless you can pass different scholarships and there are better opportunities outside your place and someone would sponsor your career choices or choosing your career choice based on the pressure from your parents and peers. Eto ba talaga? Dahil ba sinabi ng nanay ko na mag-engineer ako kasi engineer siya, mag-i-engineer na din ako? Or is it choosing for the sake of choosing? Like, wala nang ibang slot sa i-enrollan ko, puno na yung engineering, puno na yung information technology. So, ang natitira na lang ay human services. Eto na lang kasi wala akong choice. Friends, these are wrong choices. You are totally making wrong choice if you are basing your career on financial means, on pressure of parents and peers, and just for the sake of choosing. Because we need to obtain as much information as we can possibly about various career options that are available to you, particularly those that arouse your interest. Please make sure that when you choose your career, this is because you want to be like this in the future and not because you are being dictated upon by somebody that you want to be like this in the future. So, in choosing a career, and if you want to be successful, you have to be motivated. And motivation is an internal factor. This is an intrinsic. It is within ourselves, and this cannot be, dictated upon to you and say, okay, you are motivated. It can't happen like that. To be motivated, motivation is another important factor in learning. Without motivation, not much or no learning at all will take place, diba? The question is, why are you motivated? There are factors why we can be motivated. Um, Now, we have different definition of motivation, but essentially, motivation is something about arousal, about direction, about persistence of our behavior that we want to keep moving. Now, to keep moving, um, motivation in totality is a process of arousing and sustaining interest in an activity in order to achieve our goal. Pero bakit ka nga ba motivated? Ano ba ang importansya ng motivation sa buhay natin, 'di ba? Motivation directs activities toward the achievement of a goal. It controls and directs human behavior. It gives us satisfaction and happiness as an individual. And, being motivated will essentially lead you to be successful because if you are demotivated, ang mangyayari niyan ay parang, oh, okay, ayaw ko na, I don't want to keep moving. But if you are motivated, you are always directed to a goal. So, this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Of course, you all know this one, but essentially, our motivation is always factored in by our physiological needs, by our need to be loved, by our need to have a self-actualization. So whatever your motivation is, it will always fall within the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And in the motivation process, diba, we have here a paradigm. The first stage is need deprivation. Ayan, during my time, walang-wala akong magandang damit, nanghihiram ako ng sapatos, hindi ko mabili ang gusto ko. So there is a deprivation. And because of that deprivation, I am very motivated that someday I will have the luxury to buy everything that I need. Second, there is a motive. There is a drive, di ba? Yun, sinabi ko, I want to buy this in the future. Hindi na ako manghihiram ng sapatos. Bibili ako ng sapatos na gusto ko. The second stage is action, goal-directed behavior. So, what will you do to address the need deprivation? Mag-aaral ako ng mabuti. Sisiguraduhin kung makapagtapos ako, di ba? Sisiguraduhin kung makakahanap ako ng trabaho. So, you need to do something for yourself to address the need deprivation. And essentially, when you have done that, there is now the satisfying part because maa-address mo na ang need deprivation, di ba? So, ako, nung bata ako, hindi ko mabili ang mga gusto ko. Now, I am doing my best to earn a living and anytime, kung gusto kong bilhin to, I can do that. And that is satisfying on my part. That is essentially a motivation process. So, your personality will matter in every decision you make. Diba? Your personality, it's not the personality of your parents, it is your personality that will eventually affect every decision that you will make. So, personality, when we talk about personality, it is a way to success, and personality development is the improvement of the organized pattern of behaviors and attitude that makes a person distinctive. So, personality is distinct in itself and it cannot be borrowed from our friends. It is very unique in us, and our personality will essentially lead us to be successful. And in trying to be successful, let us be guided that we have to dare to dream. We have to dare to dream. In daring to dream, hindi lang ibig sabihin na panaginip na lang lahat, di ba? Pangarap ko, na panaginipan ko na ako ay magiging successful. It should not be. Every successful person has a painful story, and every painful story has a successful ending. So, yung pangarap natin, bigyan natin ng kulay. So, kahit na gaano siya kahirap, let us try to have a successful ending in all our stories. And we have to turn it into a goal, di ba? Hindi lahat panaginip lang. We have to turn it into a goal, and we have to turn it into a reality, because a dream is just a dream. And A dream is a dream with a deadline, 'di ba? Hindi pwedeng pangarap kung makatapos ng pag-aaral. Hindi lang ganun. Pangarap kong makapagtapos ng pag-aaral after 4 years. So that is your deadline. You have to set a goal. You have to set a working timeline for you to be successful. Hindi lang puro panaginip. Because, please read this aloud. Read this. Let's all read this together. Success is nowhere. Pwedeng sabihin natin na success is nowhere. Or pwede nating basahin na success is now here. Because attitude changes everything. It is our attitude. It is our personality that will essentially determine what kind of life we can have in the future. It is a matter of mindset. And if we have a proper mindset, we can all be successful. Now, this one is my favorite, really. And I hope you will also share the same, love for this saying. Your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. Diba? Hindi naman kung gaano katayog ang tayo ng buhay natin, diba? It is always our attitude. Minsan, ang mga kaklase natin na mga mayayaman, pagdating ng panahon, sila yung mga taong nagpabaya na rin sa buhay kasi feeling nila okay lang na hindi mag-pursue ng career kasi mayaman naman ako. But it should not be the case. It is always our attitude that no matter what kind of life that we have, no matter how good our life is, how bad our life is, that will eventually determine our altitude in the future. Diba? Also, looking into, hindi lahat ng matatalino, di ba? Not our aptitude. Hindi lang ibig sabihin na kapag matalino ka, ikaw na ang magiging successful in the future. Minsan naman, ang sobrang talino, parang ayaw na nilang, they are not teachable, di ba? Gusto nila sila lang ang tama, sila lang ang magaling. And it will not determine your altitude. It is still your attitude, your earnest desire to learn, your ability to learn, and your desire to learn something new will definitely determine your altitude in the future and not your aptitude. So in closing, 'di ba? Wala na si April Boy Regino, 'di ba? So in closing, kahit wala na si April Boy Regino, sabi nga niya, sa dami ng problema natin, napapakanta na lang siya ng di ko kayang tanggapin, di ba? Parang hindi natin kayang tanggapin ang mga hamon ng buhay. Pero kahit na hindi natin kayang tanggapin ang hamon ng buhay, isipin natin na tayo si Darna, di ba? At sasabihin na lang natin, ding ang bato. And at an instant, we can be superheroes. Walang makakapigil sa atin na maging successful because we are like Darna and we have our own superpowers to be successful. And isipin natin, katulad ng kanta ni Eric Santos, this is the moment. This is the moment for you to decide what will be your future career. This is the moment for you to decide that I can be successful, that I have discovered the fired up spirit in me and I can be successful like everyone else in our community. So I hope this is the moment for you to discover the fired up you, because this moment will be the turning point of your life to be successful. And in closing, I want you all to soar high. Again, it is only you who can make things happen. Hindi po ang nanay ninyo, hindi po ang teacher ninyo, hindi po ang mga kapitbahay ninyo, but it is only you who can make things happen. And for that, maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. Sana po ay nabigyan ko kayo ng inspirasyon para sa pagpili ng magandang career sa inyong future, at sana ay maging gabay ang mga pinag-usapan natin sa patuloy na pagtahak ng ating buhay at hindi tayo mag-give up. Ang sabi nga, we dare to dream and we will make that dream into a reality. Maraming salamat po. Again, I am Dr. April V. Zabalia Luzon, your learning service provider for today, and thank you for inviting me for this discussion.